Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is going to be a video response to Cat Moonchild, her 500 subscribers video. She actually put it up about, what, 2 weeks ago or something like that? And what seemed like kind of a very simple, straightforward question, I had a difficult time coming up with an answer, so that's why it's been a couple weeks since I've even done a response. But I was driving around today and I actually had a couple ideas that came to mind, so I'm just going to jump on board and do a quick response. And of course, Kat, congratulations on the 500 subscribers. And I just recently found your channel just about a month or so ago, so it hasn't been that long ago that I discovered your channel. So yeah, glad to be on board and definitely want to pay tribute to your channel, your contest. So the simple question that was so hard for me was she said if you were putting together a soundtrack for your favorite book or movie, what five songs would you pick to kind of, you know, establish or start that soundtrack and put on that soundtrack? So again, it seems like a very simple question, but just the more I thought about it, it was just like, so I guess I really got into thinking about, even with movies, very specific scenes that I would, have to put a song here. And I think maybe I got a little too, kind of overthinking it a little bit. But yeah, so I decided to actually choose a movie. When it comes to books and reading and stuff like that, I don't do a lot of reading for pleasure. So typically it's, like I'm the kind of person that if there's a book that I want to read for some particular reason, it's like I dive in, I read it, I kind of binge on it, and within a couple of days or whatever, it's kind of done. I'm not one of those people that will, grab a book an hour and a half before bedtime and just think, I just want to go read for 30 minutes. I don't read for pleasure like that. It's like, oh, I gotta read that, and it doesn't stop until it's done, type of thing. So I thought I could probably find more movies that I could connect with better. So I decided to go with the movie. And not to mention on the reading side of things, about a week and a half or so ago, I officially got what's called a CLU designation. I'm a financial planner for those that don't know, and it's just another one of those credentials that you can get. But I've been working on it for about a year and a half, almost 2 years now. 10 different, tests and examinations that I had to take, and each one of the books were like no exaggerating, like this thick. And you imagine reading something this thick about the effects of income taxation, and then another was the fundamentals of estate planning and life insurance law, and I mean, you just talk about like, oh my gosh. So even though I did learn some good stuff in there, it's still just that much material, and reading all of those books from start to finish, I don't have a very good taste in my mouth about books right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the movie. Although I did try to come up with some songs that I thought might fit, one of those books, which would of course would have been like some negative type of things. But I thought, let's go with something a little more fun. So I'm gonna go with the movie, and the movie I decided to choose is High Fidelity. Definitely one of my favorite movies, one that I watch all the time. Mainly because of the musical component. It makes it a movie that you want to watch over and over and over. And that's already a movie that has a great soundtrack. And even with the stuff that's not on the soundtrack, I mean, the movie is just full of great music. I think I made a list one time. In fact, I know I did, but I haven't looked at it in a while. But if I recall, there was something like between songs that were played and songs that were actually mentioned, specific groups and songs, there was like 139, 140, almost somewhere around the mid 100s that of different songs and artists and everything that were mentioned or played in that movie. So there's a ton of great music associated in there. But there are a couple songs I think they could have added that would have really kind of, I think really made a few scenes. So that's what I did, was kind of picked 5 or 6 here actually that I think would have fit really well into the overall soundtrack of that movie. So number one we'll jump into here is by this band, which is Paul Revere and the Raiders. And this is their best of. Really, really great album. And the song that I'm going to throw on to the High Fidelity soundtrack off of this is Just Like Me. One of my top three favorite garage rock songs, at least what I have in my mind as garage rock. You know, I think about Hang On Sloopy by the McCoys. I think about Gloria. And then I go right there with it is Just Like Me. It's just a perfect song with that total garage rock 3-chord thing. A great solo in that. I mean, the vocals very fitting to the time. So every time I see one of those or think about one of those scenes inside of the record store, and there was so many of them that they did in that movie, that song would have been a perfect fit into a number of different moments in that movie. And not to mention, it's a freaking great garage rock song. I love it. The next one that came to mind is off of this album right here. This is the Waitresses. And the song, of course, is I Know What Boys Like. You know, that song made its way into a number of different 80s movies. It's almost as synonymous with 80s movies as the Cars Shake It Up, darn near. But I always thought that scene where what's her name is walking up the steps and Cusack is carrying her groceries or whatever, and as she's walking up the steps, she's kind of slowly undressing and throwing her clothes on him, you know, kind of teasing him as they're going up to the apartment. And he's just like a, you know, deer in headlights looking at her. I just always thought that song during that scene would have kind of been a kind of funny and very fitting to the moment of the scene. So, I Know What Boys Like by the Waitresses. Next, we're going to go with Funhouse by the Stooges. And it's the song Down on the Street. Number one, I freaking love that song. It's probably my favorite Stooges song. But again, it's one of those ones where I just, you know, with so many of those record shop scenes, it just would have been very, very fitting to throw it in there. There's a lot of things I think about that song. I'm sure it'll come up in a number of answers I have in future videos and has in the past as well. But yeah, Down on the Street is definitely one of my favorite. Actually, I think it's safe to say my favorite Stooges song. So that's one that I could have thrown into a number of different record shop scenes. This is another one that should have been on the soundtrack that could have been used in a number of different places. Gordon Lightfoot. This is Gouges Gold. And the song off of this is If You Could Read My Mind. I think that would have been a perfect song to have incorporated in that movie, especially in the context of, you know, part of her reasoning for leaving him from the, you know, first 15 seconds of the movie, and then the whole movie's about him trying to get her back. You know, she just kind of felt they were just so disconnected and they weren't going anywhere and they weren't moving forward in life, and they were kind of, you know, just weren't on the same step or going at the same pace and all of that, and that was one of the reasons why she left him. And so even just listening to the lyrics of If You Could Read My Mind, I mean, it's almost like the lyrics of that song alone is totally describing the whole theme of the movie. And not to mention, it is just a great, you know, hippie guitar type of, not a love song, just heartfelt song. I've always said it's one of the few songs that, you know, I'm definitely more of a city boy kind of person and all of that. But if you ever wanted to kind of turn me hippie, you know, this is one of the songs that could kind of pull me towards that hippie direction, because I love that song so much. It's beautiful, it's heartfelt, and as soft as it is, it's very powerful at the same time. So yeah, Gordon nailed it on that one, and that's a song that definitely should have been used in a number of different places inside of High Fidelity. Would have fit in perfectly. And then there's last two. I guess I chose 6. Yeah. I'm going to go with Chris Isaak. And this is, you know, Heart-Shaped World. And the song I'm going with off of this is Wicked Game, which of course was a huge hit that he had. And I've always thought that song would have fit in really nice on the scene where, you know, after their funeral, they're at their home and he sneaks out and, you know, she catches up with him and they end up making love underneath the rainy tree or whatever. I just always thought that would have been a great song to be playing during that scene as well. So so yeah, really really cool stuff there. And last but not least, and this is one kind of as an honorable mention, just because I think theme wise it would have fit, but I'm not 100% sure exactly where I would have put it in the movie. But Joan Jett, Bad Reputation, and the song is Bad Reputation. And the only place I could really see this song going in the movie would actually be in a spot where it would replace a Joan Jett song that was in the movie. And you know, when they were at this house party or whatever, it's just a bunch of teenagers all over the place, and they're all just like making out. You know, they were playing the song Crimson and Clover by Joan Jett, which is awesome, so I wouldn't want to touch that. But let's say that song wasn't an option. I think Bad Reputation would have been a great song to kind of put in that section while you have all these, you know, teenagers just doing everything that they do there. So that was definitely another place to kind of put that song into. And again, it's an honorable mention because, you know, it's already in the movie. So all right, so anyway, there you go. Again, that's kind of some random things that kind of came to mind. If a book really does hit me or something, even before your contest is done, even after, I mean, I'm always open to do another response too, because that's the one I was really kind of wanting to do to kind of get something from scratch, but just couldn't think of anything that moved me, that connected me with enough songs or whatever. So anyway, congratulations on the 500 subs. As always, VC, let me know what you think, and we will talk to you soon, guys.